Welcome to Eureka Math, Module 1, Lesson 14, and we're continuing the practicing division today, okay? So our objective is to divide decimals with a remainder using place value, understanding, and relate to written method. Okay, what that means is we're dividing decimals. Ooh, let me back here. Dividing decimals, and they're going to have remainders. So what do we do when we have a remainder? Right? Yesterday when we were dividing simple numbers, no numbers are simple, but when we were dividing even numbers, for example, and we divided that by 2, we knew that 2 went into 2 one time, 2 went into 4 two times, and 2 went into 6 three times. So our answer was really easy, 1.23. So 2.46 divided by 2, right? That was our problem. Now, what happens if we have a number that's bigger, right? Well, 2 goes into 3 one time, but then there's a remainder there. So what are we going to do with that remainder? That's what we're going to practice today, okay? And when they say written method, that means we're going to use a little bit of unit form, right? Okay, so go to your Learn book. It's morning. I'm doing my video this morning. I usually do them in the evening, so the light is different. I'm in my classroom. It's nice to see you. Okay, lesson 14 problem set. Number 1, draw place value discs. What they mean by that is we're going to draw little circles, okay? On the place value chart to solve, show each step using the standard algorithm. Okay, so I'm going to draw a line here. This part over here is the standard algorithm, right? That's maybe what your parents taught you or what you learned last year when we were using whole numbers. This is what we'll continue to use moving forward. But today we're going to use the place value chart. Okay, here's our place value chart to help us understand what is happening on this side. So our number is 4 and 236 thousandths divided by 3. And over here it's written 4 and 236 thousandths divided by 3. Okay? This, I always have a curve in mine. I don't know. That's just how I learned how to write that. This symbol, right? We don't read this problem as 3 divided by 4 and 236 thousandths. No. We read it as 4 and 236 thousandths divided by 3. Okay? So that's just a wording thing. All right, so let's put our little place value discs in the place chart. So we have 4 ones, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 tenths, 1, 2. 3 hundredths, 1, 2, 3. And 6 thousandths, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And here, down here, we have 3. Right? So we're going to divide that into 3. So what we're doing is we're taking these discs and we're going to evenly distribute them below. And we're going to start, this is the opposite of what we have been doing. Instead of going from the right to the left, we're going to go from the left to the right, because remember, division is the opposite of multiplication. So instead of adding numbers and going this way, we're going to go this way. So if I have 4 ones and I want to divide them into 3, I can put, let me change colors here. I'll put 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. Okay? You see what I'm doing? So now I've got 1, 2, 3. But then I have this guy left over. So what am I going to do with him, right? If I were multiplying, I would go the left, but I'm not. I'm dividing, so I'm going to go to the right, okay? So I'm going to take this guy, and I'm going to make him into a tenth. You know that 1 equals 10 tenths, right? You know that? You should. Okay, so I'm going to put 10, I'm going to move him over to this side, and I'm just going to make 10 more circles. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? Now I'm going to move these into my 3, so I'm just going to cross them off as I add them. So here's 1, 2, 3, and that's 1, 2, 3, and then I've got another set of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, then I've got another set of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then what do I have here? I have 3 more. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Great. Look, we used them all up. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Perfect. Okay, now my hundredths should be really easy. Look at that. I've got 3 hundredths and I'm dividing them into 3. So I'm just going to take them straight down. 1, 2, 3. Okay. This number is wrong. That's a 6. Okay. And I'm going to cross those off because I used them, right? And then my last ones, I've got 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now I can figure out my answer by looking at just one of these lines, right? That's going to give me my answer. So let's see what I've got. One 1, 4 tenths, 1 hundredth, and 2 thousandths. Okay, that's my answer. Now let's see what this looks like over here on the standard algorithm. So I'm going to change colors. Well, let me show you what I did. I put 3 into 4. So 3 goes into 4. And how many times does it go in? 1 time, right? So 1, 2, 3. So 1 times 3 is 3. I'm going to subtract that number. And I have 1 left over. I'm going to bring down my 2. Now I have 12 tenths. Remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 tenths. So 3 goes into 12. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. 4 times 3 is 12. So I'm going to subtract that. And I have 0 left over, so I don't have to lend anything to my hundredths. And then my 3 comes all the way down here, and look at that, I have 3 hundredths. So 3 goes into 3 hundredths exactly 1 time. 1 times 3 is 3. Subtract that. Then bring down that 6. Okay, and 3 goes into 6. 3 goes into 6 2 times. 3 times 2 is 6. And as long as I have 0 at the end, I am done. And my decimal goes right above its place. This is the ones place, the tenths place, the hundredths place, and the thousandths place. Did I get the same answer? Yes, I did. Okay, so on the left is place value. On the right is standard algorithm. Let's try the next one. I kind of like those purples and blues. I want to go back to that. Okay, so I have 1, 1, 3 tenths, 1, 2, 3, 2 hundredths, 1, 2, and 4 thousandths, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to do these simultaneously now, okay? So I can't divide this at all, can I? Here's my 2. Right? I'm going into 2. So I'm automatically going to have to move this over to the other side. I'm going to have to just pick it up and move it over. And when I move it into the tenths position, it becomes 10 tenths. So I'm just going to, it's 0, right? It went in 0 times. So I'm going to have to draw a 0, right? 2 went into 1 0 times. 0 times 2 is 0. Then I have 1 and 3. Now I have 13 tenths. Okay, so I have 13 tenths. So 13 divided by 2 would be 6 each, right? So I'm going to take 6 from the top and 6 from the bottom, and I'm going to move them down. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now I have 6 here. And 6 here. Okay. 2 went into 13 tenths 6 times. Okay, 6 times 2 is 12. That means I have 1/10 left over. Okay, which is true. There it is. It's right there. So I'm going to move that 1/10 over here. And when I move it into the hundredths spot, it becomes 10 hundredths. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And so now I have 10 plus 2. That means I'm going to bring down that 2. Now I have 12 hundredths and 12 hundredths. And 2 goes into 12 6 times. So let's make sure that's what that is. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That was 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great. Do I have any leftovers? No. Yay. Okay. Which means over here on this side, right? 6 times. 6 times 2 is 12. No leftovers. Everything divided. And I'm going to bring down that 4 because I can't leave it out there in the cold. And 2 is going to go into 4 2 times, right? 1, 2, 1, 2. And I've got 1, 2, 1, 2. And that goes 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. And when I subtract, I get 0. That means I got all the way through it. And my answer in the standard algorithm is 662 thousandths. And over here I have, let's just check this. Check our answer. I'm going to circle this last line and I'm going to check it for our answer. So I have 0 ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tenths, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hundredths, 1, 2, and 2 thousandths. There's our answer. Same answer. Great. I like this. This is kind of fun. It helps us understand what we're doing, right? Now, you can use this place value chart anytime you want. Or you can just use this standard algorithm. Okay, if you understand the standard algorithm and you understand what's going on this side, great. Let's do some. Okay, standard algorithm. Let's try that. If you need to pull out the place value chart though, I won't fault you for that. That's fine. So 78 hundredths divided by 3. So I'm not going to put the 78 on the outside. I'm going to put it on the inside. 78 hundredths. Okay, and the 3 goes on the outside. So 3 is going to go into the 1 spot exactly 0 times, right? There's nothing to divide into. So 0 times 3 is 0. I'm going to subtract that. So then I'm going to go straight to the tenths place, right? And 3 will go into 7 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6, which means I have 1/10 left over. So I'm going to turn that 1/10 into 18 hundredths. Okay, 3 goes into 18 hundredths 6 times. Okay, 6 times 3 is 18. That's 0. My answer is 26 hundredths. Cool. We are dividing like champions. Okay, 7 and 28 hundredths divided by 4. So 7 and 28 hundredths divided by 4. First, we're going to go into the ones place. 4 goes into 7 one time, right? So now we have 3 left over. So we're going to have to turn those into 30 tenths. Bring down the 2. Now we have 32 tenths. 4 goes into 32 8 times. 8 times 4 is 32. So now we have no tenths left over. We're going to bring down the hundredths. 4 goes into 8 hundredths 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8 and 0. Our answer is 1 and 82 hundredths. Okay, next one. 17 and 45 hundredths divided by 5. Okay, is the 5 going to go into the tens place? No, it is not. Okay, so 5 times 0 is 0. And I'm going to have to bring the 1 down into, I'm not going to have enough space here, I'm drawing too big. 17 ones. 5 goes into 17 ones 3 times. 3 times 5 is 15. So I have 2 ones left over, and I'm going to bring down my tenths. Now I have 24 tenths. 5 goes into 24 tenths 4 times. 4 times 5 is 20. Okay, these are all subtraction. 24 minus 20 is 4. Now I have 4 tenths and 5 hundredths, so I'm just going to call that 45 hundredths. 5 goes into 45 hundredths 9 times. 9 times 5 is 45 and 0. My answer is, you don't have to put the 0, 3 and 49 hundredths. Are we understanding the standard algorithm? Okay. Grayson wrote 1 and 47 hundredths divided by 7 equals 2 and 1/10 in her journal. Ooh. Use words, numbers, or pictures to explain why Grayson's thinking is incorrect. Well, let's see. We can find the answer first, right? 1 and 47 hundredths divided by 7. Well, 7 doesn't go into the ones, so there shouldn't be anything in the ones spot. That's the first problem, right? That would be 0. 0 times 7 is 0. Now we have 1 and 4 tenths. Now we have 14 tenths. 7 goes into 14 tenths 2 times. 2 times 7 is 14. We have 0 left with 7. 7 goes into 7 hundredths 1 time. 1 times 7 is 7. 0. So the actual answer is 0, 21 hundredths. Okay. What did Grayson do wrong? What did Grayson do wrong? Grayson put the decimal in the wrong spot, didn't he? Grayson had that decimal in the wrong spot. Grayson, he divided correctly, but he had the decimal in the wrong spot. In the wrong place. There we go. Okay, number 2. Mrs. Engine? I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that name. It's not a Spanish name. Mrs. Nugent? Maybe? Nugent used 1 and 48 meters of netting to make 4 identical mini hockey goals. How much netting did she use per goal? Okay, so she's got tape diagram. 1 and 48 meters of netting. And she wants to make 4 identical hockey goals, so she's going to divide that into 4. Right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. How much netting did she use per goal? So we're going to have to divide this number by 4. So our equation is 1 and 48 hundredths divided by 4 equals our answer in meters. Okay, but this is a division problem, so I'm going to use my standard algorithm. So I'm going to make space over here. 1 and 48/100ths divided by 4. So does 4 go into the ones place? No. 0 times 4 is 0. So we're going to take that 1 space and we're going to make it into a tenths. Now we have 14/10. 4 goes into 14 3 times. 3 times 4 is 12. We're going to have 2/10 left over, so we're going to turn that into 28/100ths. 4 goes into 28/100ths. 7 times, okay? 7 times 4 is 28, okay? And our answer then is 0. So each of these is going to be 37/100ths of a meter. If you wanted to convert that into centimeters, that would be 37, right? Ooh, let me sneeze. Okay, number 5. Esperanza. See, that name I can pronounce. Esperanza usually buys avocados for 94 cents a piece, or 94/100ths of a dollar. During a sale, she gets 5 avocados for $4.10, or 4 1/10 of a dollar. How much money should she save per avocado? Use a tape diagram and show your calculations. Okay. So she usually buys them for 94 cents a piece. If she were to get 5, right, we could add those or we could just multiply by 5. This is a 2-step problem. Okay, so this would be 94 cents times 5. So 5 times 4 is 20, carry the 2. Now remember, now the extra is going this way. So 4 times 5 is 45, 46, 47. Okay, and then that decimal is going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. So normally she would buy those for $4.70. But during a sale, she gets 5 avocados for $4.10. Okay, so she only paid $4.10. Okay, how much money did she save per avocado? Now that says per avocado. This is really a 3-step problem. So we're going to subtract. How much money did she save first? She saved 60 cents, right? Good for her, 60 cents. Now, we want to know per avocado. That's important. Per means each one. So we're going to take that 60 cents and we're going to divide it into those 5 avocados again. So 60 cents, I'm going to put the 0 there, 60 cents divided by 5. Okay, does 5 go into 0? No. Into the ones place? No. 0 times 5 is 0. So no ones. We're going to go straight to the tenths. 5 goes into 6/10 one time. 1 times 5 is 5. Now she has 1/10 left over, so we're going to bring down the hundredths. So now she's got 10 hundredths. 5 goes into 10 hundredths 2 times. Ooh. Come on. Okay, 2 times 5 is 10. And there we go. So how much did she save per avocado? 12 cents. 12 cents. Or 12/100ths of a dollar. And let's see, that would mean that each of these cost 82 cents a piece. Right? So she went from 94 cents a piece to 82 cents a piece. She's a hustler, Esperanza. She knows how to save her pennies. Great. That's how we do that. Okay. Show your work. It says show your calculations. Show your work. If you have any questions about this, I know that division is complicated for some of you. If you're struggling with things, let me know, and we will get you some help in class, okay? Have a great day.